We're going to move over to our last game here, the Martino special. It is the Milan Derby.
Yeah.
AC Milan, Inter Milan. One very good Milan and one pretty bad Milan recently.
Historically
One's got
bad.
one's got injuries. One could have, like, me in the 8th grade playing goalie, and it would be better. I'll let you have the floor here, Martino. Just tell me everything leading up to this and what you're thinking.
So I told you, and I told people on Twitter, this is bet of the year for me. Honestly, and this is sad. This is a team that I love and root for harder than anyone, especially if you watch the show at this point. There's no chance of winning this. I've never felt so lowly about this. They've conceded 4 more goals in consecutive league games for the first time ever in the 3-point era. And we're talking about coming out of an era where they were at their lowest in 4 to 5 decades in the 2010s. They never once did that. Their goalkeeper has conceded 11 goals on 13 shots. That's statistically the worst in the league by far. He is one of the worst in the world. And yes, I mean that, the world. We're even going to talk about Wrexham a little bit next week. It's probably worse than that guy. He's 38 years of age. He has no confidence. He's moving too slowly. His warm-up defensive saves are terrible. He can't even lunge. He also had some vision issues as well, so the guy can't really see as well as he thought he could. So almost every possible negative that you could have for a goalkeeper exists. And what Inter Milan have at this point, and what we saw in the Super Cup a couple weeks ago, a thrashing of 3-0. Milan also lose Fikayo Tomori, their best center back. He's not in this one. They're interchanging another pair there, Ismail Benacer, their best midfielder, and probably their second best player is not in there. So again, they have all the injuries against them, and the over 2.5 by far is the best bet in this one. I think that's for sure. And Inter's been laying around plus 100, minus 105. And they lost the Derby earlier this year. I just don't see how Milan do anything in order to stop them. I would be stunned if there was a draw in this. I think there's a very little chance that they win this. If they win this, this is an incredible upset in terms of just the way everything's been going. They've conceded so many goals in their most recent matches. It's just been deplorable. There's this one parlay, bear with me, and I know you could only go so confident when the odds are this high, but I have never been so confident in a bet hitting on over plus 700. Plus 775 on FanDuel. If you bet Inter money line over 2.5 and a Lautaro Martinez anytime goal scorer, who he owns us, by the way, that's at plus 775. And you can interchange Lautaro with any other types of players because Milan sucks aerially. So if you like Edin Dzeko, you can go and put him in there. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, another former player of Milan, likes to step up in games like this. I mean, Federico DiMarco, if you want anytime goal scorer or assister in this, there's so many different options with this. I say by far the over 2.5 with an Inter money line is the best combo parlay that you'll get. It's at plus money. I feel very safe about taking that. And again, to go off of the team total theme that you had with Manchester City earlier, if you can get something at 1.5 over team total for Inter, I suggest taking that. Again, Milan have been woeful. They've been dreadful. Sassuolo, again, for example, I know I'm going on a tangent here, but there's so much proof to back this up. Sassuolo was 17th ranked in Serie A. They didn't win a game since October. They went into Milan's house and scored 5 on them. It's despicable. The goals that are going in are amateur level. This doesn't happen. Okay, like this is how bad it's gotten, and there's no changes coming to the 11. So that also tells you there's devoid of all confidence at the end of the day. So for me, I am incredibly annoyed by this, but when your team sucks, right? Like we've seen with the Mets over the years, if you know when they suck, at least put your money where your mouth is and win something off of your own misery. And that's what I'm doing this weekend. And if they don't, then, I guess I could go, do whatever at that point. I just never appear on the show again.
Martino, I'm going to start charging you by the hour for these therapy sessions. That seemed like just a weight released off of you. We like to call that hedging your happiness when you're like, okay, my team is going to blow this. Let me just throw some money on it.